All right, I'm Beck Lane, and this is Catalyst and Company. Catalyst and Company, where we're trying to be catalysts in each other's lives as well as catalysts in our own, and we become the artists we've always wanted to be. Behind me is a painting I started in the last video. Obviously, a figure painting of a. Let's move the camera back just a teens. There we go. Of a young girl. I showed you the reference material before. Let me find it again. Always prepared. Not really ever. So this is a photograph, and I've been carrying it around for I don't know how long, how many years, but I've just hung on to it and had it sitting out forever. So I pulled out this little figure here. She's slightly distorted, as you can see. I've kind of had to compress her to fit into the two canvases that I'm using. What are they, 18 by 12 or something? I think they're 18 by 2, 18 by 12 canvases. So I've had to compress her to get her to fit, but I'm reasonably happy with where she is. Obviously, she's stick figure stage, but I'm excited. It's something, she's someone that I've wanted to paint for a while, as well as a couple of her sisters I'm really interested in doing, but I need larger canvases for that. I had originally started her on a much, much larger canvas, ditched it for another project, and we've ended up here, and I'm pretty happy. Now, as you can see, she really is stick figure. She's very, very raw. We're seeing a lot of the aerosol come through. Still, not a lot of oils have been applied, because if you're going to use oil on top of aerosol, you've got to make sure, number one, the aerosol is thin. It's pretty thin, because it will crack over time, and sometimes a short period of time, like within a year. If you put it on too thick, maybe that's an effect that you want. I know in some of my paintings, it is intentional. I do want it to crack. I do want that decrepitude to come in to play. It's not a mistake. It's there for a reason. So, but regardless, you do want to start off kind of thin with the aerosol, not to go too heavy, because if you want it to be perfect and pristine forever, you don't want it cracking. So the advice is start off thin, and then go over the oils in layers. And so that's what we're doing, is our first layer of thin to thin-ish oils mixed with mineral spirits. Next, I'll start going in some places with oils mixed with Neo McGill, so we get that nice glow, especially in the oranges and the reds that I've started to apply. I wanted to touch on something besides, cracking and blah, blah, blah. I wanted to talk about something because I had a conversation with someone a week or two ago. We just started talking out of the blue, and she asked me if I was a painter, because I was probably wearing this and covered in paint. So we started talking about paintings, and I started showing my work. And she brought up several things that many people, and I don't mean to disparage her just in case she sees this, she brought up several things that have somewhat annoyed me over the years, because people bring it up all the time, and it's just that they don't know any other language. People who, all right, sometimes people bring it up, and it's one of the reasons I try and avoid openings and don't go to arty things. I hate it when people try and talk art with me, or talk about my artwork in front of me to people they believe don't understand. Oh my God, it drives me insane. But you have to stand there and be as polite as possible and bite your tongue. This person was trying to explain to another person who isn't an artist, and had said explicitly, I don't know how to talk art. And of course I said what I always say is, and it's true, I don't talk art either. I don't understand it. I don't care. I find it offensive when people start talking over and around me and use university level language, art education language around me when, in conversations. I just hate it. I just find it so, ugh. My skin literally starts to crawl and I have to walk away. So he said I don't talk art, and the other person in this conversation decided to explain to him about my art. And this, I don't know about you, but this drives me absolutely up a tree nuts. And it's been going on for decades, specifically the last 10 years where I've really pushed my artwork. The explainer decided to say, what you don't understand is, and I've tried to tell you is, an artist's work comes from pain. It's all about their pain, and it's all about their anger and all this stuff. And I'm standing there very politely, biting my tongue, because it is that's not the entirety. That's not the entirety of it. That's not it. That's not it at all. And as I was working on this, I was thinking about that conversation, because I'm looking at the camera, and the camera, the way I'm understanding the figure or the face is expressing almost a fear or innocence, but in person it's almost like an anger, and that's what triggered me to talk about this conversation. When you're doing portraits or figure work, it's not about the artist. It is about the artist. It is, of course, about the artist. But what you have to do, and this is what I explained in that conversation, is you remove yourself. Remove yourself from the conversation and make it more about the figure, the focal, the subject. You remove your ego and make it more about the subject, feeling the subject, not saying, I'm going to express my anger and pain. It's also awful. It's awful. Expressing pain is so easy. Expressing anger is so easy. It's too easy. It's cliche and silly and lazy. It's something I used to do as an amateur and as a high school student. I depicted all my angst, in pretty tropey, typical ways, stereotypical ways. But as I've matured, and as my work has matured, and it's grown, and it's evolved, I've had to learn how to let go of my ego. This is me, and try and find that person. It's hard for me to say too much without sounding like I'm patting myself on the back, which, believe me, I do enough of in my head. But especially in this conversation, the non-artist, the person that would not characterize themselves as an artist, was like, I don't understand how you do that. And once we got done listening to, how I'm expressing my pain, I said, it's removing my ego. It's removing my preconceptions of who the person in the painting is, or the person in the reference material it is, and trying to feel them, feel their character as a whole person, so that it's not just about pain and anger and frustration and, drawing skulls on fire because that's scary and shows how angry I am. It's trying to see the reference material as a whole human being who had a whole life, who had their own points of views, their own ideas, like a character in a book. If you make a character if you write a character as being just angry, after a while it's exhausting. And it's boring, and it's typical. If you have a character who is just frustrated all the time, it's boring, it's typical, it's exhausting. So what we're trying to do is pull out multi-levels of the human character, of what it is to be a whole person in the work. And I think, and here we go, I'm so fabulous, this is what makes my portraits and my figure work connect with more people. People of different ages, different races, sexes, different, just to a more variety of people. Because we are trying to find the whole human experience in a snapshot or in a single moment. We're trying to find that. All right, now that I'm lofty and super special, I think I'm going to put on my shoes and take a walk, because I haven't done it for days. And over the past week and a half, I've eaten a cheeseburger with french fries, probably 3 candy bars. Mind you, I don't eat sugar. I had a cheesecake and several other things, and I haven't left the house. So I have to go walk my fat, squishy Alice Neal body around for a little bit, because I'm supposed to fit in pants this weekend. I'm supposed to go to an opening tonight, which I hate more than anything, but she's a friend and a talented friend. So I have to get another talented friend's car and go to an opening, and it's everything I don't want to do, but she's a good person, so I have to go. She's a good person, and I do appreciate her, so I have to go and do a lot of this. When people sit around talking art, no. And then this weekend I was going to... Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you. I'm sorry. I know this is going on and long, and again, I'm all over the place, but that's me. This weekend, a collector is picking me up. We're going to see an Americana music, a band, I guess, Americana band somewhere where I haven't been. I haven't left my neighborhood in, I have no idea how long. But apparently we're headed somewhere north in Sarasota to see an Americana band perform somewhere. You can tell how well I'm paying attention. But I wanted to say, this woman just bought, this collector bought a second painting. She bought Blue Boy, which was the large painting we saw several videos ago with the graffiti in the background. The graffiti in the background, the boy with the blue face on the rocking horse. That one is sold through Chasing Galleries, and now I'm being spoiled rotten because super talented, I guess, or something like that, but it's going to be fun. So I'm going to go walk around the block, so I might be able to fit into a pair of pants that doesn't have an elastic waist. Would be super nice. Anyway, we're going to stop there, Carrie. And thank you, Carrie, I wanted to say again, thank you. Thank you for being so kind. Ready? Here we go. Ciao. Meow, meow, ciao. I haven't done this in a while, so I've kind of forgotten. Meow, 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 boink.